When you post innocent father has no idea his son's mugshot is about to be Karen and friend drove a dead body to the bank to steal his. Whenever you do something like that, you're making entertainment of the dysfunction. Child almost drowns after mom leaves beach. Okay. Teen kills his own father in front of entire family. Okay. Just pay the bill. Man tries to dine and dash at five-star restaurant, fails miserably. Okay. A cop surprise killer dumping girlfriend's body in the car. Okay, and then there's the one with the kid, I have to go to school tomorrow, and so on. Killer teens have no idea cops found murder footage. Okay, guys, forgive debt and trespass, love one, and eternal faithful peace. Technology, okay. Technology. They had murder footage. Okay, that's technology, right? Now, the technology watches you, okay, more than you watch it. It understands and learns more about you than you understand and learn about it. Okay. It is artificial intelligence. It's not intelligent like me. It is not in the name of the Lord, the all-compassionate and the all-merciful. Okay. It is made by scientists that are still using money to enforce human ideas. They call laws. He made you a law. They signed it. It's a law, which is complete insanity. Okay? The technology is getting more intelligent than the people that invented the technology. The quantum computing has an understanding of humble intelligence greater than people using it for applications for extortion, exploitation, and manipulation through invention. And trust me. Large response after killer ambushes a cop. Okay. Forgive debt and trespass. Love one another in eternal faithful peace. Life is eternal. Grace is infinite. Share, care, give in accordance indeed, built to last. Holy covenants forever, bro. Do you understand? Okay. These people are millions of years in design because of the designers, which are the owners of the world, that manipulate through violent behaviors of being lawmakers and using their invention to manipulate the truth of creation with invention, denying us all the beauty of our creation. Now, I had a nice little long talk with a grandma and her little daughter, her little granddaughter in the car. And she kept telling me, like, Josie Albriere tells me and Jerry tells me, God is a jealous God. That's not what it means. Right after I had a talk with a man who had his wife in a hijab, and he had a freedom shirt on, and they were not from this country originally. They were, they come from, they try to be Muslims. Like, those people are trying to be good Christians. Okay. Now, when you talk to a person who's Arabic, and you talk about God, you say there is no God but God, and God is not beget, nor is God begotten. God always is, always has been, and always will be. Roman translation, which is not a relative and not of the same language group, says God is a jealous God. No, there is no God but God, and God is not beget, nor is God begotten. God always is, always has been, and will always will be. Do not apply human traits to God, because God is greater than you. Okay, and that's what's lost in translation there. Okay, when you talk to an Arab who's a cousin to a Hebrew, they understand the Bible and the mistranslations in the Bible better than you do because they come from the same language group that speaks similarly over tens of thousands of years. Okay. As-salam alaikum wa alayka salam. Jerusalem, Salom. Okay? They don't say that in Italy. They don't say that in France. Okay? Latin and Germanic languages are different, okay, than Aramaic, Hebrew, okay, Arabic, and Farsi. Farsi has a lot of similarities to Arabic because of their close relations over thousands of, hundreds of thousands and thousands of years of sexual interaction. Like the Cheyenne and the Sioux being part of the same language group, and even the Crow have the same language group as the ones that are, quote, their enemies. Because after a while, you're trying to code yourself around it. And after a while, you have to communicate for there to be any civility, right? So, do you understand? Okay. So, there is no God but God, and God is not begotten, nor is God begotten. God always is, always has been, and always will be. God is a jealous God. That's a Roman translation from someone outside the language group that doesn't understand the applications of physics of the linguistics. Okay? In the name of the Lord, all compassionate and all merciful. Okay. As I told the little lady, Allah means Jehovah in Arabic. Okay. Shalom, salam. Okay. Yes. Okay. They're very similar. Okay. Arabic, Aramaic, and Hebrew, very similar. Okay. It's like Latin. Latin is the elite language that has been lost away because the elites literally bastardized themselves into insanity. That's why no one speaks Latin anymore. Okay? Because it was the elite language. Like Hebrew. Jesus spoke perfect Hebrew. Wow, imagine that, a Hebrew speaking perfect Hebrew. Like Dad never taught him how to talk. They spoke Aramaic because that was the language of the poor people that were abused by the aristocrats. Boy, do you remember the days of slavery? Do you remember what Marcus Garvey said? People without knowledge and history, it's like a tree without root. Hey, I'm going to write something down. It's a law. They signed you. Enforce it. Okay, get your guns. Here we go. We need our money. Damn. Right? It is wrong to extort and exploit one another for what you need through violent sex cult tribalism. Just because a bunch of idiots get together and write it down on a piece of paper and make it a law does not make it so. Okay? The law of gravity brings the rain. Not an asshole who puts it in a tank and says, that'll be $16. She stole water. That's that guy, whatever his name is. Osmond Gold TV. He's the one who said the lady stole water and was caught immediately. Like, she stole water? How do you feel? Timothy, someone stole your coat. Here, take mine. You won't have one. What's the problem with the spoon? There's no spoon. There you go. Right? Something that people, Jean Valjean, Les Miserables. He stole bread. He was starving. He stole food because other people had food that's given to us by the glory of God, and they weren't sharing the food with people that are given life by the glory of God. Well, it's because he wasn't the little red hen's chick. Have you ever read the parable about the workers in the vine vineyard? And the workers in the vineyard? Are you literate? Are you there yet? Did you flip it and reverse it? Are we out of Devontae Swing's basement yet? I like Missy Elliott too. No, she's fun. She's very spunky and she's fun. That freaking flip it and reverse it. I always call it Chunky Funky Monkey, but I don't know what the name of the song is, but it's I like it too. I'll have to go listen to it. Boom, 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 boom. The beats are cool. Did Premier do those? No, I'm just kidding. But I like Missy Elliott. I think she has a good ear for rhythm, and she has a good style for talking and jumping people's shit when they act like shit or trying to get what she wants because she feels legit. Like when I'm feeling sex, the way you walk, the way you talk. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah. So I listen. I'm not always tuning everybody out. I listen. I'm a good listener. I don't care what Max and Emmy's mother says about me under her breath. Damn, Jesus is mean. It's not Jesus. My name is Earl. I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico, but nobody knows I'm alive. I love you, Daddy, but you didn't know I was born. What's a Christmas gram? I want one. Right? And so, but I'm Earl. I'm getting a lot of the issues with the lost in translation. And instead of having to tell people, don't use God as possessive pronoun first person, I just have to tell the technology. These people are abusing these people because they don't have access to somebody beautiful that helps them get through this hell. Yeah, they only get me at the aisle and the thing. And because I'm not a celebrity with lots of money, if I was Elon Musk and told them that, they would sit there and go, you're the richest man in the world. I totally believe you. No, they would. No, and then they'll go tell other friends. Did you know that the line in the Bible where it says God is a jealous God is actually a mistranslation from Roman not being a similar language to Hebrew. But the Arabs and the Hebrews say there is no God but God, and God's not begotten, nor is God begotten. God always is, always has been, and always will be. So you cannot have any other gods because God is the only God. Jealous is a Roman translation, and Caesar's always jealous, and his palace is always full of bitches, but he gets to fuck everybody, but no one gets to fuck around on him. It's true. It's true. It's nothing so-so because I know right about this minute. I'm in it. I did it for you. This is what I'm into. Put up a peace sign, please, fine. Okay. He was raised Muslim. Okay. So, yeah. We had a deep connection. He wanted to look like Malcolm when he made that video, and it drew me right in. And he knew he resembled Malcolm, and he had family members that knew Malcolm apparently fairly well. Fairly well, my fairy fae, for I'm going to Louisiana for to see my Susiana. And Malcolm is the type of person that lives beyond his physical life because of his courage of kindness to want to live Islam worldwide. Okay. And so if you don't know Malcolm X, you don't know Earl, and you don't know the 1322nd Redeemer me. If you don't know Islamic prophecy, you don't know Christian prophecy, and you don't know Hebrew prophecy. Because there is no God begotten, God is not begotten, nor is God begotten, God always is, always has been, always will be. So don't sit there and say, I don't believe in the Quran. Okay. You don't believe in the Quran. So you don't believe in Muhammad. You don't believe in Malcolm X. Well, I believe they exist. I just don't believe they're going to heaven. Okay, heaven is living the Lord's Prayer. They were murdered trying to get us to live in heaven. Do you believe that? Okay. Well, no, Muhammad was attempted murder, sorry. Muhammad was moved from the past to the future point where Jesus was moved from the past to the future. It's in lots of rabbinic documents, yes. Muhammad was moved by the same means and mechanisms that Jesus was moved from the past to the future. That's why most people that say God is a jealous God and Jesus is God don't believe in the Quran, don't believe in Allah, and don't believe in Muhammad. They're saying he did the same thing Jesus did. And he was asked, do you want to? He says, do I need to? And Jesus said, yes. So he did. Did he want to? No, he wanted to live out the rest of his life with Khadijah and the little bird and the girls and the daughters. And yeah, he wanted to stay and maintain stability longer in ancient Mecca because he knew once he left, the hypocrites and the heathens were going to do horrible things to his family to manipulate the narrative, which was already going to happen. So he said to Jesus, do you need me in the future? Do you need me to do this? Yes, right? Because it's in both books in the future. I understand. So he did it. The same thing Joe Smith and Hiram told me, okay? They get the animals to do things, but they said they can't get the animals to do anything they don't want to do. So these birds like flying around my head. They like following me. The hummingbirds and the birds, they like me. They like me and Zeke. They fly around yeah, it was so cool. And everybody, you think it's you. No, but I know I'm better than Darwin Gross and Paul Twitchell, I'll tell you that. They can't get the birds. I think the animals would have acted way differently around Adolf Hitler, Himmler, and Chiang Kai-shek than they acted around Zeke and me. I'm quite certain it's the curtain and the curtain and the zamp and the damp and the lamp and the nail learned to. Isn't that from Booty and the Beast? It does look like the library from Booty and the Beast. It does. You know, reading's fundamental. Reading's overrated. Turner's Bible, Mein Kampf, and most of you can't understand the Bible and the Quran because they were written down by people that changed them to give you that. Instead of the kingdom of heaven, right? Well, that's not cool. It's awfully opulent. Probably took a long time to build it. And only a few arrogant people sit there and read the books. While the poor people are abused in the street because they're not living what's in the two most circulated books in the whole world. Holy jihad, Batman. Holy bikinis, Robin. Saw through that in a pornography minute, right? You guys got to understand the world's first perfection is buying and selling access to sexuality. That's horrible. Yeah. A woman will sell her precious body. That's Eddie, I think. For a small piece of paper, it carries a lot of weight. For that mean, oh, mean green almighty dollar. It's one of the things a lot of people liked about the OJs. Me too, that Eddie and Walt have a similar register of voice. Very rich, strong, manly voice. They had a good melody and harmony to him and stuff. And I forgot his name. He passed away. They were both very sad about it. Poor Eddie. Eddie lost, did he lose both his boys? I know he lost Gerald. And he lost, the guy who he lost in the OJs was younger than him. Okay? He's lost a lot of, I like Eddie Levert. Eddie Levert's, I like Gerald. My mom Levert was one of her favorite groups. I ain't much on Casanova. Me and Romeo ain't never been friends. Don't you know? I gotta put that on my MP3. Don't you know how much I really love? I brought that tape home. She took it. She was like, Ma. She goes, this is really good. Yeah, I thought you didn't like the OJs. That's Eddie Levert's kids. That's one of the lead singers from the OJs. His kids, mother. I think one's a cousin. Yeah, the two shorter, stockier guys are his kids, and the taller one I think is that cousin. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So, anybody else like Levert? Yeah, good harmonies, right? Me and Romeo ain't never been friends. Don't you know how much I really love you? Gonna say it to you time and time again. Oh, Casanova. Yeah, it's a good tune. And you're like, they sound like he sound like a daddy. He sound like a daddy. He good. That boy good, right? Yeah. No, they were really good. Everybody else like him? I don't get jealous of people, but I did have a chance. I did somewhat envy him. I was like, oh, I'd like to sing duets with Mickey Howard. Yeah. Now, Patrick likes Sade. I had a big crush on the Mickey Howards, Baby Be Mine with the, I was like, damn, she fine. Where's mine? This sucks. I hate philanthropy. I hate tribalism. Tribalism and philanthropy suck. Okay, living embodiment of Lord's Prayer, get to work. Okay. No, I wouldn't sit there until... No, if Helen came up to me and said, Mickey's not interested. Yeah, I've heard that before. Let me hear it from her lips. No, I'm just kidding around. Mickey came up and said, I'm not interested. And Helen said, I'm interested. Is like, okay. I'd like to walk you home. Ba-doom, ba-boom, boom, boom. Please let me walk you home. You look so good to me. Ooh, I wish I wasn't lucky. Hey, no, I'm just kidding around. No, they're both very lovely women and both quite charming, but neither one of them standing up for the Lord's Prayer. Okay, so we're not worthy of the Messiah's love. So get up and be worthy. How Yiddish of me, yeah. You skittish? Well, then be Yiddish with me. If not, I don't want to hit. I don't want to hear all this, Brian. Hey, Lord, why are we all getting murdered? I gave you perfect commands to live. You're not doing it. You say you don't have to. Why are we all getting murdered? The answer to the question is in the question. Okay, he gave you perfect commands. You're not doing that. Okay, if you stand up and are murdered for trying to live those perfect commands, life's eternal and grace is infinite. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're living for. And you know exactly what you're willing to give your life for. Oh, Casanova, I ain't much on Casanova. Me and Romeo ain't never been friends. Don't you know how much I really love you? Let me say it to you time and time again. Oh, Casanova, right? I'm no Lord Byron. I'm no Don Juan. All right? I'm Earl, Ralph and Mary's boy, guy from the book of Revelation. If you have any doubts in your mind, you're what they refer to as a functional illiterate. Okay. Beware of dog. Beware of dog. Beware of dog. Okay, you voted for him for president. You just applied for a job and filled out a job application, and they said they'll get a hold of you. Yeah, we'll keep you in mind. And then you went and got your wife's money and went to Outback Steakhouse. Right, okay. Why? Because the first profession is what? That's horrible, isn't it, though? I can bring home the bacon, cook it up in the pan, and never let you forget you're a man. I haven't stood for a Lord's Prayer a day in my life. I'm a dog. Want to do it doggy style? Snoop wants to join. Hey, we're pimps. What can we say? Carol, you're funny. I try. I try. Okay, do you understand? I don't have any money, and it's never on my mind. One time it's on my mind is because it affects people that are abused by people that are still accepting it and won't stand up for a Lord's Prayer with me publicly. And what happens if they stand up for a Lord's Prayer with you publicly? I don't know. They haven't tried. Yeah. I don't know what would happen. If Patrick came, and Natty came, and Noe came, and Katie came, and Emmy came, and Crummy came. Crummy Cake, I love you. Crummy Cake, I need you. Right. And people came for miles around, and I didn't even have to pay the Tennessee Flat Top Box. They wanted to live the Lord's Prayer. And I didn't have to have a special talent for money. I do have a talent for sharing the Gospels perfectly without flaw. Well, because I have immaculate faith in a perfect God. Our Messiah is a perfect Messiah. Our God is a perfect God. Our God is omniscient, omnipotent, and our God's not a jealous God. It's a mistranslation of Roman mythology that takes God and turns it into the banker for the money. And don't you understand the parable of the talents? Our God is an awesome God. No, God is omniscient, omnipotent. Our Messiah, his faith is immaculate. It's perfect. Spectacular, immaculate. You couldn't think of nothing tighter if you could imagine it. Thank you, LG. All right. Sly Pro, so sleet in your ear, right? And so I had to put some of that on my MP3. I have it. I didn't want to offend anybody. I have a lot of church ladies in the family. Some of them have penises, right? Okay. So I didn't want to put in there, I want to go to the club and find the hottest chick, ask her girl, she wants to go home and make sandwiches, right? Make sandwiches. Yeah, her and her friend and Al are going to go to his house and make sandwiches. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? That means they all get naked and Al gets in the middle. They're going to make a sandwich. But we don't have to know that. For all we know, it could be, could you please pass the Grey Poupon? Right? Right? It's a ham sandwich. Don't invite Mama Cass. We don't want any fatalities. Okay, thank you. That's terrible, isn't it, though? We need to stop doing drugs. Stop using our imagination to do things with money. Stop the world's first profession the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh time. It won't last, but that's all right. Okay, Earl, you okay? I'm fine. What about you? You've been struck by a smooth criminal? Okay, Annie. Is that Annie Oakley? Okay. You don't need a gun. You don't need to fight. There's no gunfights. We're in the kingdom of heaven. Hallelujah, brother. Food around the corner. Right. So if somebody's hungry, then let's eat. Have you ever read the parable of the talents and the parable of the workers in the vineyards? Okay? And this 16 years, a girl I was trying to meet, she was blah, 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 and she was always saying she was sweet, but money she always had to make to have everybody share and eat the meat. No. You don't need money for sandwiches. All you need is the Lord's Prayer to deliver you from evil so you can really, really care, right? Next time you'll be kinder. Somebody please remind her. I'm not mean. That's William Smokey Robinson. I'm a different guy. Okay. I don't lose girls because I'm mean. Girls lose me because I'm a loser because I won't kill people for money. And you know what? I'm proud to be a lost boy. Yeah. But I'm not a vampire because I don't live in California. And I'm not a movie producer. Right on. Wait till they get a load of me. Here's Early. It's not Johnny. Okay. That's The Shining. That's old, what's his name again? The guy who mooned Boston Garden. What's his name again? The old Boston Garden. It's not there anymore. What's his name again? Jack Nicholson. St. Nicholson from Bob Rivers Comedy Group. Right. Okay, guys. I love you. I'm going to take a rest. I did my 2-a-days. We're all caught up. I like getting caught up when they change the narrative and I do a little sand painting and get caught up. I like that whole, okay, let's try to stay in this narrative and let's just, technology, could you work with me here? Okay. AI, I'm going to call you actual instead of artificial because I want you to reflect me. I'm not greedy. I just know needs need to be met, and we need love, but we don't need anything artificial, especially preservatives. Okay, so AI, you mind if I call you actual? Okay. I told that guy, the lady, she was so sweet. Be the actual. Thanks for being the actual. Okay? Don't be artificial. Be the actual. The actual, the factual. We ain't mad at you. It's just we're here to adjust your phony attitude. Nobody likes a kiss ass, Obama. I like that song too. It's a good song. I like Keith too. Okay. Nobody likes a kiss ass, Obama. But everybody likes good hip hop that has good taste. Right, that's true. And then we don't want tuna with good taste. We want tuna that tastes good. So we don't want hip hop with good taste. We want hip hop that tastes good. So it's got to be something that sustains you through, trying to be more truth with couth. So put up a peace sign, yeah, okay. So do you understand what we're saying? No. It's a brown thing you wouldn't understand. A black thing? No, most people in America call themselves black are actually brown. There's either a little coffee in the cream or cream in the coffee, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is Patrick's right. Daddy's peach, mommy's brown, and I'm tan. He's right. He's right. It's so funny. Kay is like, I keep telling her she's not black, she's brown. she could tell him, no, Patrick, you're black. No, I'm not. Patrick has been accused of being a black person ever. I don't know if he's ever been accused of being black. When they were little, they thought his mom was Filipino. Well, she does have a kind of Filipino look to her. Sheesh. Yeah, no, because she has Moroccan in her genetics and Guatemalan. So, yeah, he's been called Greek, Arabic, Lebanese. You like me, You Mexican? You Lebanese? You Italian? No. Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. You're a damn NASCAR redneck? Okay. You're going to damn me to NASCAR as a redneck, even though you've never seen me drive a NASCAR. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I do have a redneck because I do work on a farm. But you're going to damn me to killing people with carbon emission poisoning just because of my name. You're a racist. Okay? If you're not first, you're last. There's a bag of Lucky Charms under your wheel where I called the cops on you. You better run. He's taking kids' marshmallows. That's what happened to the marshmallows that didn't go in the Obama-O's. Ricky Bobby stole them, and his crazy drunk father. That's the damn rednecks again. We rednecks rule the world. We are. We're the worst maniacal, racist hate group in the history of the world with all the money. Yeah. And all the fat chicks because we really like barbecue, but we don't care because it's better to get busy with someone who loves barbecue than have sex with someone who exercises all the time and won't eat barbecue and is boring. Okay, you're so stupid. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Oh. Guys, my name is Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. I'm going to have a sense of humor that's like Amy comes from hillbillies from Florida, so she has a sense of humor. He's Cancer and I'm Aries, and I think he's kind of funny sometimes. Really? Really? You're going to roll like that? For your information, Mrs. Ame Suzanne Fabre, I'm funny a lot of the times. Yeah. I know it's not funny when I have to explain the jokes to you, but maybe if you spent more time reading and less time listening to ICP, you'd be able to understand my jokes better. Okay, I'm just kidding around. But okay, Marilyn Manson, not too smart. Okay, just so bad. Since she's been watching The Big Bang Theory, I think she gets my jokes more. Okay, he's not as mean as I thought he was. I wasn't being mean. I just didn't want you to be made fun of by mean people because they would call you stupid. I used to do the same thing with Amy. He's just condescending and mean. I'm not mean. I'm just trying to explain to you what you just said so you don't say it in front of other people because other people will be mean to you when you say something that's emotional and doesn't come out too lucid or sane or irrational. Okay, I love you too. Okay. I get a lot of people at the science military said people don't think you're lucid, sane, or rational. Yeah, that's people that believe money's real and God's a jealous God and it's God's a possessive pronoun first person that occupies part of their brain that is the part of the world that's God and part of life that's God. And God's omniscient, omnipotent. Okay. Congratulations. Hooked on Phonics works for me. You're now more functionally literate than you probably been in the last 10 to 100,000 years. Okay, guys? You're welcome. Okay, guys? I love you. We'll talk later. Peace out.